There are about 1,500 people who suffer from brain injuries each year in central Missouri. From the moment those people leave the hospital, central Missouri doesn't have any more resources available that specializes in treating traumatic brain injury survivors.
KOMU8's Lisa Hart finds hope in the form of Team John, explains how this surge for rehabilitation for traumatic brain injuries could soon come to an end for survivors and their families.
A community united. Bowling for John. A team effort. Team John, that is, that started almost 2 years ago in June when John Thoman took a fall down a cement staircase that caused major bleeding in his brain.
I had a traumatic brain injury.
The Thoman family then endured a wild roller coaster. 8 months, 4 different hospitals around St. Louis, waiting for John to wake up.
Part of my son did die. We've lost the old John. We have a new John. It's a new way of life. It's a new attitude. It's a new challenge.
Joe is now John's primary caretaker, a job that requires round-the-clock care.
Being a caretaker is very difficult. John was 19 when this happened. We raised him once. We didn't have to raise him again. He had to learn how to walk, talk, breathe, eat.
As John's condition improved, the Thomans quickly found out living outside of Jefferson City wasn't the ideal location for a brain injury survivor and his family.
We are the only agency of this type, a charity of this type, that provides a continuum of services for people with brain injuries. There's nothing in central Missouri.
The Center for Head Injury Services in St. Louis is the closest facility to central Missouri that meets the long-term cognitive and pre-vocational needs of traumatic brain injury survivors. Rusk Rehabilitation Center in Columbia does offer a brain rehabilitation program, but it's insurance-based and only designed for survivors shortly after their injury. Patients at Rusk eventually get discharged and look for a place to get continued long-term care. The Center for Head Injury Services meets this need. It's possible that with the center's specialized services, someone like John, who survived a brain injury and at one time couldn't see a day past a hospital bed or is confined to a wheelchair or a cane, can one day be walking again and have the chance to live somewhat of an independent life. At the center, John could learn skills that can hopefully get him driving again one day, get a job, re-enter society. He needs to start now.
It really takes time for people to regain skills and get their life back. Now, they may not be able to go back to what they did before, but, we give them some hope.
But for right now, Central Missouri will have to wait to see any of that hope. According to Gunning, Missouri has dropped into the lower 25 states for brain injury services, and funding for a new center is low.
It's difficult in Missouri. It's a very small funding source in Missouri.
But a lack of funding won't stop Joe Thoman from giving his son a second chance at life.
It's what needs to be done. Simple as that. Obviously, our situation warrants that we do something. We can't keep going this way, and this is an option we have. St. Louis has been a great facility for others, and Central Missouri needs the place.
The goal, bring a replica of the St. Louis Center to Jefferson City, starting with a day program. The required startup fee, $60,000, which the Thomans have to raise on their own. They already have $20,000 and a long way to go.
Hope so. I'm sure it will. But I hope and pray that we can get one opened up in Jeff City.
The center won't just be a place of rehabilitation for the survivors.
A brain injury doesn't just happen to the person, it happens to the whole family.
But a resource for their families as well. Lisa Hart, KOMU8 News, Jefferson City.
What an amazing story there. If you want to donate money to help Team John bring the Center for Head Injury Services to Central Missouri, you can find a link at our website at KOMU.com.
You can also find links to John's Caring Bridge website, videos tracking his progress, as well as updates about future fundraisers.